It's Friday, and thank goodness it is Friday. The world's still a messed up place. Lots of weird things are happening, which I don't really want to talk about. We've got enough of that in the news. But the year is moving on, and we're getting into spring, and you can see outside, even though it's after 6 o'clock, there's still some light in the sky. And yesterday, of course, was the release day of A Night of Flames, which I've been going on about for, seems like forever. Yesterday was the publication day. So if you haven't got it already, what are you waiting for? Get out there, buy it, order it, pre-order it. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in your independent bookshop. You can get it from Waterstones. You can get it anywhere, any good bookshop. If you can't find it on the shelves, which is very possible because my books and many books, in fact, don't get stocked on the shelves of bookshops, you can definitely go and order it. If you can't order it online, you can go up to the people in the shop and ask them, and they will be able to order it for you. So it's doing really well so far. So thanks to everybody who's already bought a copy and everyone who pre-ordered. I know lots of people pre-ordered both either or the ebook or the hardcover. Many people have got both even. So one for their bookshelf and one for just for reading. So, and for ease of being able to carry it around on their phone. So thanks for that. Everybody who's bought one. If anyone pops in and wants to tell me how you feel about the book, if you've started reading it, what are your thoughts? If you've got any comments, that would be great. No spoilers, please, for anyone who hasn't got there yet. I appreciate it's not been out for very long, so you're unlikely to have read more than a few chapters, but I know some people are very, very fast readers and get through it. So hello, Tracy. It's on Facebook saying hello. And I hope you enjoy the book. Hope you enjoy it when you get it. And it's doing great at the moment. I'm just having a look at it on Amazon. It's it's a bestseller on the ebook, which doesn't really mean a huge deal, I guess, but it's doing well in the charts. And if you, by any chance, haven't read A Time for Swords, which is the first book in the series before A Night of Flames. If you haven't read the book before, which is A Time for Swords, that if you fancy an ebook, that is actually out on Amazon for 99p in the UK. So the usual comment is, oh, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. This is cheaper than pretty much anything. You can hardly buy a Mars bar for 99p now. So really, 99p for a book which has got, I'm looking at it now on Amazon, 2,241 ratings, 4.4 out of 5 average. So for 99p, hopefully you won't think it's a waste of money for that. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you hope you get it and hope you enjoy it. And yesterday was the release day, and I went to London, signed some books, went to Goldsborough Books and signed several copies there, and then went to the Head of Zeus, it's my publisher. I went to their headquarters and signed some more books there. So all fun. It was nice to mark the occasion. As usual, by the way, I've got a beer and I've just been on a chat with someone else, so I've already been drinking it. But it was nice to mark the occasion. So very often when a book comes out, I don't think I'm alone in this, that other authors have said the same thing, that you end up basically every day is just the same as the day before. We're sitting in our offices and writing and researching and getting on, answering emails and just doing promos and whatever we're doing. And when a book comes out, it's just another day, and you kind of lose track of the fact that you've got this achievement that a book has come out. And I'm definitely guilty of that myself. And I've always found it a bit of a vanity thing to have a party or anything like that. So I've never done anything like that. And this is my 11th novel. And so I was lucky enough that I didn't have a launch party or anything, but I actually marked the occasion by going into London to my publishers and signing books and seeing the people that that help bring the book to life, and my editor, and having a few drinks with them. So it was nice. So it's very nice to sort of have that moment to feel, okay, I've actually achieved something, and there's something has happened, and then move on. Um, haven't really got a huge amount of things to say. It was really just to say the book is out there. Please buy it if you haven't already. It's always nice when people buy the book, either pre-order it. Obviously, pre-ordering is the best. But if you're going to buy the hardback, if you buy it within this first week of publication, the first couple of days, it does help, I think, with sales figures and stuff. So if you are thinking of buying it, at the moment, it's actually reduced on Amazon. It's only £12, £12 the hardback. I think £12.99. Whereas I think the retail price is like £19, so it's not bad. And I think it's reduced in other places as well. I saw in Blackwell's had it going cheap as well. So yeah, it's a thick book. It's going to keep you going. And in terms of what else I'm doing at the moment, I'm still working away on the edits for Forest of Foes, which is the next Bearbrand book. I'm reading through that at the moment. I've got the printout here, which I'm going through, and with my comments, and I'm up to page 187 of 364. So making my way through that. I'll be another week or so of the edits there, and then I'll have to sort of put those edits from the page into the file. Still got to write the author's note, so where I explain why I've made certain decisions about the history, and the acknowledgements, and that's pretty much it. Then that's done, apart from the edits then from my editor and copy editor and proofreaders and all of that comes later. But yeah, after that, and I suppose the good news, or the interesting news, is I did have a nice chat with my editor yesterday about the future and about future books, and we haven't decided exactly what's next, but I think it could be interesting. So I think there'll be another Hunlaf book, so another one after A Night of Flames in the A Time for Swords series. There'll definitely be another Bearbrand book. So I'm writing book 9 now. As I said, Forest of Foes. There'll be a 10th one, and there'll probably be more after that. And then I think there's going to be another something else, maybe a standalone, maybe a slight shift in genre, something I've talked about in the past, but I need to still go away and really think about it. So I think once I finish this edit, my plan is going to be write a synopsis of each of those books. I spend a few weeks thinking about what the next Bearbrand book is going to be, what the next A Time for Swords book is going to be, and what this other book is going to be. Write those synopses down, and then share them with my editor and discuss and sort of work out which one to tackle first and what I need to do. So, well, Martin has asked here, well, did the Western idea pan out? So interesting enough. So yeah, I've got two editors. I've got kind of the day-to-day editor, the guy I talk to who does all of my just sort of answers any question I might have, really, about sort of day-to-day running of things and anything that happens in the publishers. And then there's kind of my my editor who happens to be the CEO of the publishers as well. So his voice seems to have a bit more clout than my direct contact. And I was talking to him yesterday, and he was really up for it. He was really up for the idea of the Western. So I've been umming and ahhing about this for a while, and and when I spoke to my sort of direct contact editor, he didn't sound so pleased about the idea, whereas the other guy really does. So I'm now reinvigorated, and I think I'm definitely going to take the time to kind of think of a storyline and flesh it out and see what we can do. So no promises, but I feel more quietly confident that at least it's a possibility than I did a few weeks ago. I felt like maybe it wasn't going to happen because I thought the publishers really weren't interested. But actually, I have to say, I mean, it's really nice to have a publisher. I mean, they said to me yesterday, they said, you know, you've got a following, people like your books. This is your 11th book. You've kind of deserved the right to be able to write something that you feel passionate about, as well as, you know, on top of, obviously I feel passionate about, you know, the Bear Brand books and Time for Swords, but you know, something else that's like a passion project for me. So let's see how it goes. But it's daunting to think about writing something in a slightly different genre, although I still see it as historical fiction, historical action, adventure. It's just in a different historical time. Um, wow. So that question is probably too long for me to put it on the screen. I don't think it will all come up on the screen. Oh, maybe it does. Yeah, here we go. How on earth do you begin to think of what to write in your books? Do you research historical figures or locations? How do you think of all the twists and turns that you have in every single book? that's, a, that's a good question. So the real answer, well, I do some research first on the sort of general timeline, and I normally try to think of certain historical events that I want to appear in the book. And as to the sort of twists and turns, I don't know. It's all about trying to make the story satisfying and exciting. And I just want there to be lots of cliffhangers and lots of exciting moments. So it's as I'm writing it, I try not to get bored. You know, I try to sort of think, how's the reader going to be reading this? And I try to make it interesting. And I think if it's a straight thin line of story that's very easily traceable from the beginning to the end. Which I don't think my plots are really, really complicated, but I do like to have certain bits where you can be at least slightly surprised. You know, throw a bit of a curveball in there because I don't think life is ever straightforward. So yeah, I just try to make it exciting. I mean, I don't know how exactly I come up with the ideas. The most difficult thing, I was talking to my editor yesterday and saying the most difficult thing really is are the plots and the storylines and, you know, what happens, not the writing itself. So sitting down and actually just writing the words. If I think I'd be pretty good at doing commissions. If somebody says, you know, here's a storyline, you need to write this story in this sort of style, or in your style or someone else's style or whatever, but try to write it and get it done to this number of words, and you know, these are the chapter breakdowns. I think that's easy, but easy-ish now after this many books. I feel that's something I can do relatively easily. But actually coming up with the ideas and the twists and the turns, as you say, is definitely more difficult for me. I think some people seem to have a huge number of ideas that they've got, like this pool of ideas, and they say, I'm never going to be able to write all the books that I have in my head by the end of my life because I have so many ideas. For me, it's not like that. For me, it's much more like, all right, I need to write another book. I'm now going to need to spend a month scraping through material, trying to generate ideas for that story. But it seems to work. I mean, I've taken inspiration from all sorts of places. So I know this is a long answer now to the question, but you know, there's a lot of historical research and locations and everything goes in there. A lot of just imagination and me just making stuff up. I take inspiration from films and from books and from other things, other past things that I've read or seen, or you know, even music. I mean, all sorts of things will all make their way into a story. So I'm quite clear and about that. So if you've read A Time for Swords, I very clearly say in the author's note that there's inspiration there from certain movies and, you know, other books and things, and so I'm quite honest about that. And the same is true actually of the new one, of A Night of Flames, which I haven't mentioned recently. So that's out now by now. So yeah, A Night of Flames, which is the sequel. Again, there was inspiration there um, from all sorts of places, but one of the inspirations was from another book and movie, different genre, different things, but yeah, some inspiration there, which I mentioned. So I'm quite keen to not pretend to have come up with all the ideas myself. But anyway, I think that's about it. So unless anyone's got any other questions, which what usually happens with these live things, because I tend to do it a bit spur of the moment and just jump on and do one and do this live thing and not tell people in advance, and then people drop in questions afterwards. So I'll pop in later on and answer questions if anyone's got any questions specifically about A Night of Flames. And I try and do one of these live things pretty much once a week. So maybe next Friday, maybe I'll try and be a bit more formal about it, set up a time and just say every Friday I'll do it. But I quite like the informality of it. But if anyone missed it, I did say last week, I'm going to try and remember the date. I will just remind everybody or anybody that's watching this, and let me just see if I can find on my phone the date to make sure I get it right. So yeah, on the 17th of March, which is a Thursday, I will be having a chat interview with author Angus Donald on here. It'll be live 7:30 Thursday, the 17th of March. So I'll be putting that up actually sometime towards the end of next week. I'll be putting that up as an event or a live event that you can then set a reminder for. So I'll mention that again next week. Actually, next week on the 11th, Friday, I won't be doing this live event. Although I just said I'd like to do one every week, but I won't be because I'm not sure exactly the time. I think it might be 7 o'clock. I'm doing a thing with Suffolk Libraries. I'm doing a talk with them in the evening. I think it might be 7. So it's 7 or 7:30, something like that. I'll just have a quick search. And have a look and see, and then I will tell you. Yes, online event, Suffolk Libraries. Yeah, 7 o'clock. So next Friday. So I don't know how can I type a message out here? Maybe I can post in a link in here to show. Okay, look, yeah, there you go. So yeah, if you can see that, yeah, suffolklibraries.co.uk, what's on live online author event with Matthew Harper. You have to sign up for it. It's free, but you have to sign up in advance. So if you want to go to that, go along to the webpage there, and you have to fill in a form or whatever you have to do to sign up for it. But there'll be a Q&A from the audience. I'll be getting asked questions by the organizer, and it's to raise money. It's part of their annual fundraising event to raise money for the Suffolk Libraries Day. So Suffolk is a great place with lots of interesting history, and anyway, yeah, I was really thrilled to be asked and invited on. And last year they had Bernard Cornwell talking, so it's nice to follow in Bernard's footsteps as usual. As I think most people would say, that's what I've spent all of my writing career doing. I've got another comment here from Ron. Oh, yeah, from Rob. Sorry, I said Ron. Your hard work definitely shows. The Benicia Chronicles definitely the best series I've ever read. Wow, Rob, you can come again. You're always invited. If you say things like that, flattery will get you everywhere. Are there any characters you've written about based on people you've met or know in real life? There's bits and pieces of people that I've met in real life. Sometimes when I was working an office job before, when I was writing the first few Benicia Chronicles books, and there were moments when I'd have a bad day in the office or somebody would annoy me, and some of those incidents kind of made their way into the book or the books that I was writing. Not necessarily specifically, the people or anything, but I did kind of think sometimes. I remember one of the times that Bearbrand kind of headbutts someone and breaks their nose or something. I was imagining that was someone at work that had really pissed me off. So yeah, there's kind of traits of people, I guess, and little. Yeah, I think it's more about the sort of the general feel of someone, or the way certain mannerisms that someone has can make their way into a character. So rather than base the whole character on someone, I might say I remember there's a character think it's the priest. I can't remember his name now. I think it's Corman, the priest in Crossing the Curse, and he's not a very nice character. It comes from the island of Mull, and they bring him down to Lindisfarne as the first bishop of Lindisfarne, and he does some pretty awful things. And if you've got that far, but I think I've got him. Pretty sure that he's always flicking his hair, or he's doing something with his hair and his fingers and things like that. And I remember that was a mannerism of somebody that I worked with, and I thought that would just, it was kind of an annoying mannerism, slightly sort of foppish and slightly annoying. And I thought I can put that into the character. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you on here. Mark actually used to work with me in that office, so I don't know if he was there at the time when I was writing The Serpent Sword. So he's probably now thinking, I wonder who that is. It wasn't you, Mark. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to talk for much longer because it's Friday night, and yeah, it's been a long week. Looks like the Third World War is about to kick off. Don't want to talk about politics, but it doesn't bode well, does it? What's going on? So eat, drink, and be merry. I hope you stay safe wherever you are from COVID or from the other ills in the world and from everything that's going on. On a lighter note, if you want a bit of relaxation and to get your mind off the day-to-day, you could do worse than buy my new book, A Night of Flames, which is out now. And you can get it in ebook or hardback. And the audiobook will be with you any day soon. Rob's got one last question. Okay, this is it. The last one. When are you heading to Scotland so you can sign some books? Well, I would love to. So I cannot answer that. I do not know. So I think gone are the days of authors getting, unless you're really, 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 really successful. Publishers don't really pay for you to travel around going to sign books. But if there are book festivals or events that are interested, I mean, I know there's something up in the Borders and somewhere around, the Benicia area. I remember seeing a couple of times there's been some events around there and festivals. I've always thought, I'd be good. I could go and talk there. So if there are any events going on, then definitely be up for going along. So if anyone's watching this that has any connections with literary events or book festivals, literary festivals, then let them know that you'd like to see me on the bill and get me invited. And I'm absolutely great value for money. So I can talk, I can waffle on for ages. So yeah, if there's any events that happen, I'd be more than happy to go up. I love that area. I love Scotland. I love the northeast. I used to live in the northeast of England, and I guess the southeast of Scotland. So I know the best. But I'd love to travel around more of Scotland. I don't know the rest of Scotland that well, so I don't know where you're based, Rob. But there's a lot to see there. I'd love to go. And in the new book, in A Night of Flames, they go up and end up in Orkney, and I've never been to Orkney. As usual, when I write, it's become a bit of a running joke with my wife now that whenever I write a book and they go to a new place, I haven't visited that place, and then I visit it after the book's been published, which is always interesting. So like Suffolk, so I'm doing the Suffolk Libraries thing next week. I've been to Suffolk, but I went after Bearbrand was there. I think he goes in Killer of Kings. He's in East Anglia, and then later in other books as well. But he's definitely there in Killer of Kings. And of course, I went and visited after that book was published. And the Lake District, Cumbria, go there for Lord and Land, but also in Warrior of Woden. Didn't go there until after Warrior of Woden had been published. So typical. So you're in Aberdeen, Rob says. I've never been to Aberdeen, as far as I know. I don't think I've ever been to Aberdeen, so love to go up that far. Where are you going to be in Suffolk? Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be in Wiltshire, here at this very desk, talking to Suffolk Libraries. So it's a live event. So that's, if you want to go, if you're late in, I will share again. If you go to suffolklibraries.co.uk or just do a search for Suffolk Libraries, Matthew Harvey. That's what I did, and it came up. There's a link there anyway, and it's free to sign up for. It's next week, next Friday, the 11th, 7 o'clock, and I'll be talking to them for an hour or so, and there'll be questions and answers, and they'll be asking all sorts of interesting questions, hopefully, about A Night of Flames. So on that note, I will love you and leave you, and that's not happy. But yeah, you can go to the Suffolk Libraries and see that. So yeah, I love you and leave you, and please, if you haven't done so already, go off and buy your copy of A Night of Flames. And if you've already read it, which some people I know read very, very quickly, or if you're already halfway through or whatever, then please drop a comment and say if you're enjoying it and what you think. And that's it, really. Happy reading. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. And I will speak to those who turn up to the Suffolk Libraries event next week. And if not, I'll probably speak to you sometime the week after that. I'll do another live event. And then, in fact, the week after that is the very event that I was saying, the 17th. So Thursday, the 17th of March, I'll be on with Angus Donald, as I mentioned before. So I will be promoting that sometime towards the end of next week. So watch this space. Have a great weekend. Happy reading. If you're not reading my book, then make sure you're reading a good book, someone else's good book. And speak to you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.